araw sa lahat. Ako po pala si Joy G. Regalado from BME2. And today, tatalakayin natin ang dalawang topiko. Una, managing the computer threats. Pangalawa, researching and evaluating the web for our course, building and enhancing new literacies across the curriculum ni Professor Rachel C. Payapaya. I will be discussing to you something about managing computer threats. But before that, let me ask you this question. What is threat? Ano nga ba ang threat? Threat is a possible danger that might exploit a vulnerability to breach security and thus cause possible harm. Meron tayong dalawang uri ng threat. Ito yung intentional. Ano naman itong intentional? An individual cracker or a criminal organization. Halimbawa nito ay yung mga virus, DOS or denial of service attack, data theft, and destruction of computer resources. Pangalawang uri naman ay ang accidental or the unintentional. The possibility of a computer malfunctioning or the possibility of natural disaster or otherwise a circumstance, capability, action, or event. Halimbawa ng human error, yung accidentally mong nabuhusan ng tubig yung computer mo, and environmental hazard at computer failures. Sa puntong ito naman, pag-usapan natin ang history ng computer security threats. Unang nagsimula ang threat noong 1986, the first virus for PCs called Brain. Brain was written by two brothers in Pakistan. When they noticed that people were copying their software, the virus put a copy of itself and a copyright message on a floppy disk copies their customers made. Sinundan naman ito noong 1971, the first computer worm called Creeper worm. Creeper worm was created by engineer Robert Bob H. Thomas, a developing worker on ARPANET, a prosecutor to the internet, wrote a program called Creeper that passed from computer to computer, displaying a message, "I'm a creeper, catch me if you can." Next, on 1988, the internet worm or Morris worm. The internet worm, Robert Morris, a 23-year-old student, released a worm on the US DARPA internet. It spread to thousands of computers and due to an error, kept reinfecting computers many times, causing them to crash. Next is on 1999, the Melissa virus, or known as the Bubble Boy virus. The Melissa virus is a mass-mailing microvirus. It targeted Microsoft Word and Outlook-based systems and created network traffic. A virus that forwards itself by email spread worldwide. Bubble Boy, the first virus to infect a computer when email is viewed, appeared. You will get an email entitled "Important Message from," followed by the current name. Upon clicking the message, the body would have this quotation, "Here's that document you asked for, don't show anyone else." The document may contain pornographic sites and accompanying logins for each. It will then mass mail itself to the first 50 people in your contact list and then disable multiple safeguard features on Microsoft Word or Microsoft Outlook. Next was on 2000, denial of service attack or DOS attack. What is this denial of service attack? It is also known as distributed denial of service by the hackers put on Yahoo, eBay, Amazon, and other high-profile websites online for several hours. It often attacks sites or services hosted on high-profile web servers such as banks or credit card payment gateways. And in the same year, another worm was created, the Love Bag or Love Letter for You. 2000 Love Bag or Love Letter for You was created by two Filipino persons, Rionel Ramones and Tonel de Guzman. You will get an email with the subject line, I love you, and attachment, love letter for you, .text.obs. Upon opening the attachment, it will then activate the Visual Basic scripts. The worm inflicts damage on the local machine, overwriting random types of file, office files, image file, and audio file, and sends a copy itself to all addresses in the Windows address book used by Microsoft Outlook. This made it spread much faster than any other previous email worm. Now that we have discussed the brief history of security threats, let us look the top 20 countries in 2016 of cybercrime. As we can see, United States of America got the highest percentage, and while Argentina, Israel, and what else? Israel, got only 1%, and Australia as well. And as we can see, we cannot see Philippines here, but probably Philippines belong to all other countries, which is 19%. And now let us talk about the types of threats. First, let us have virus. Virus, a program written to alter the way a computer operates without the permission or knowledge of the user. A virus replicates and executes itself, usually doing damage to your computer in the process. Next is the spyware. Ano naman itong spyware? Any program that monitors your online activities or installs programs without your consent to profit or to capture personal information. Next is the backdoor Trojan or backdoors. A backdoor Trojan allows someone to take control of another user's computer via the internet without their permission. A backdoor Trojan may pose as legitimate software just as other Trojan horse programs. Next, let us have cookies. Cookies are files on your computer that enable website to remember your details. This enables the website to remember your details and track your visits. Cookies can be a threat to confidentiality but not your data. Next is the DDoS or DOS, denial of service attack. A hacker attempts to overload or shut down a computer so that legitimate users can no longer access it. Typical DOS attacks target web servers and aim to make websites unavailable. No data is stolen or compromised, but the interruption of the service can be costly for the company or other organization. Next is the auto-run worm. What is this auto-run worm? Autorun worms are malicious programs that take advantage of the Windows Autorun feature. They execute automatically when the device of which they are stored is plugged into a computer. Next, the email trojans. This runs the malicious code which will then mail itself to the other computer. Is the boot sector malware. Boot sector malware replaces the original boot sector with its own modified version and usually hides the original somewhere else on the hard disk. The next time you start up, the infected boot sector is used and the malware becomes active. Next is the key logging. Key logging is the process of secretly recording keystrokes by an unauthorized third party. Key logging is often used by malware to steal usernames, passwords, credit card details, and other sensitive data. Now that we are already aware of different types of threats, ang tanong naman ngayon is kung paano natin ito i-manage. Ito yung mga tips kung paano natin i-manage yung mga computer threats. Una, scan internet downloads. Mahalagang i-scan muna natin yung mga software or applications bago natin ito i-download. Kasi hindi natin alam, baka hindi pala yun secured. Tapos meron pala yung mga virus or other computer threats. Next is don't run programs of unknown origin. Ano nga ba ang ibig sabihin nito? It is important that you use a trusted source of your software requirements. Mas mabuti kung basahin nating maigi yung mga terms and policies ng software bago natin ito i-download. Third, make sure every entry point is secured with passwords and encryptions. In making password, you should include lowercase and uppercase letters, symbols, or and numbers. And it should be at least 15 characteristics. Next is install up-to-date antivirus software on your computers. Invest in an antivirus program to prevent malware attacks on your systems. Next is use a spam filter. Spam filter detects unsolicited, unwanted, and virus-infested email called spam and stop it from getting into email inboxes. Next is automate security updates. Kasunod naman ito ay ang install perimeter security solutions. There are 3 types of network perimeter security. First is firewall. Firewall prevents unauthorized internet users from accessing your private network via the internet. Second is the intrusion detection system. Monitors and reports on threats to your network. Third is the intrusion prevention program. Stops threats as well as reports on them. Is encrypt your files, hard drives, and backup disk. Ang pag-encrypt ay isang pamamaraan upang ma-secure ang mga data sa pamamagitan ng paggamit ng mga espesyal na mathematics algorithm upang i-convert ang data para sa scrambled code bago ito ipadala. Madidecode lamang ito ng isang otorisadong gumagamit o yung may alam ng password. Next, install software or hardware that keeps an eye on who's visiting which sites and which of your computer they're using. Meron na din tayong batas para sa ganitong krimen. The Republic Act Number 10175 or the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012. It was signed into law by President Aquino on September 12, 2012. What is this Cybercrime Prevention Act? Its original goal was to penalize acts like cybersex, child pornography, identity theft, and unsolicited electronic communication in the country. But the law also penalized offenses against the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of computer data and systems, such as illegal access, illegal interference, data interference, system interference, misuse of devices, and cyber squatting. According to this law also, the person that found guilty of unsolicited communication will be facing arresto mayor or imprisonment for 1 month and 1 day to 6 months, or a fine of at least 50,000 but not more than 250,000, or both. Thank you for listening about my topic on managing computer threats. Our next topic will be researching and evaluating the web. It is much easier to publish material online than in a book or reputable journal or magazine. Information is available at our fingertips around the clock. However, not all the information available is valid. Each source of information must be reviewed with due care to ensure the purpose, authority, accuracy, objectivity, currency, reliability, coverage, and quality of the information that one uses. I have here a model made by Joyce Valenza, which is CARDS model, stands for credibility and authority, accuracy, reliability, relevance, date, sources behind the text, and scope and purpose. Now let us talk about credibility, the quality and capacity of belief. Who is the author? What are his or her credentials, education, or experiences, and what evidence is offered of his or her knowledge. Second is the accuracy, freedom from mistake and error. Or information be verified through other sources. Like for example, if I am researching about the culture and tradition of Mexico, then I have found a web page, and there I have discovered that this site is similar to what I already know about Mexico. So I think I can trust the information, but not information is reliable. So we need to compare it to other sources. If this site is different from I learned before, so I think I should compare it to other resources before using it. Next will be the reliability, of which a source gives the same information as other resources. Does the source present a particular view or bias, or is the information affiliated with an organization that has a particular political or social agenda? Relevance, the relationship to the focus topic or question. Does the information directly support the thesis or help to answer the question, or can it be eliminated or ignored because it simply does not help? It will be the date. The date at which an information source is published or produced. Does this project need current, up-to-date information? Or when was this web page created? When was it last updated? For example, if I am researching about global warming, so if the web page that I have found is from 2010, so it is up to date. Then if I am researching about the solar system, and the web page that I have found is from 1999. So, comparing to 2010 to 1999, it is not up to date. So, I will not use the 1999 web page or the 1999 article. Next is the source. A primary reference work or point of origin is the information based on primary or secondary sources. Did the author document his or her sources? Or what kind of links or further reading did the author choose? We will find these sources at the end part of the research paper or the article, range of information and a given topic and the reason behind its creation. Thus, this source addresses the thesis in a comprehensive or peripheral way, or is it material that can easily be read and understood? What is HTTPS? HTTPS is a secure version of HTTP. The S there stands for secure, to secure the connection and to secure all the information and communication. What is search engine? Is an information retrieval system. It is the most common tool used to locate information on the web. Search engines help to minimize the time required to find information and the amount of information which must be consulted. Example is the AltaVista, InfoSeek, Google, yung common na ginagamit natin, Yahoo, Excite, Dogply, and Lycos. I haven't tried this Excite, Dogply, and Lycos, AltaVista, InfoSeek, but I did Google and Yahoo. Another strategy designed for evaluating web content is to examine the end or suffix of the domain name. This helps to figure the validity of the information and judge any potential bias. The suffix identities. So here's the examples of domain suffixes. .com stands for a commercial site purpose to sell a product or service, like facebook.com, youtube.com, and everything. .biz stands for a business that could be trying to sell a product or service. Next is .edu, a school, university, museum, or educational site. .gov, a government site. .int is an international institution. .mil is a military site. .museum is museum. .net, a network service provider or internet administrative site. .org, an organization, often non-profit. These sites can provide accurate information. So now, if we found .org, this will be a guide to us for an accurate information. Next is the .pro, a professional site. Then this LD or person, a personal site that varies in its credibility. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have learned something from me. God bless us all. Keep safe.